What's going on, guys? Clone Force 23 coming back with another Jump to Lightspeed deck tech video. I got my boy Alec here. Say hello to the people.
What's going on? They fly now.
They fly now! They fly now!
They fly now.
Are y'all sick of playing Sabine ECL? But you still want to play Poe and Wrecker? Well, we got a deck for you.
Dude, we got something right up your alley.
Got something right for you, buddy. We got Poe Dammer and ECL this time around. So got a little ship spice to this one, Alec. Tell me what you got.
Oh, I got a little bit of spice. So, yeah, as a Sabine enjoyer for, I don't know, since the beginning of the game, the deck that I've taken to every major tournament, this does feel like a nice change of pace. Be like, oh, I'm not looking at the same leader but I can play the same type of deck. And yeah, it's a little spicy. It's a little different. So let's talk about it here. Obviously, Poe was the one that got people talking because we have a leader that can come out as a unit or a upgrade to a unit per se as early as turn one, depending on what happens. So
Yeah.
not in this deck, but in other decks you can. So Poe's effect is you can pay one and you flip this leader and attach him as an upgrade to a friendly vehicle unit without a pilot on it. So on turn two in this deck, you can attach him to one of the three ships that we're playing as a turn one play, which is Black One, Green Squadron A-Wing, and the Phoenix Squadron A-Wing as well. It's, not technically as strong as a wing leader, but it kind of is in the same breath because wing leader's stats are poor as a 2-1 in space, whereas with this, you're essentially giving 2 experience tokens, -1 toughness, because he gives +2/+1.
Sure.
But then it gives you the ability to play another 2-cost unit, which has way better stats than Wing Leader. So it's kind of the same. It's actually a little bit more of an action economy, but the payoff is a lot better stat-wise on the board. And the targets are all very good. Phoenix Squadron is probably the least good just because it has 2 toughness, but A-Wing swinging for 5 and Black One is an insane target for Poe. Of course, it's his ship, so they had to make it that way. But Black One swinging for 5 as well and dealing damage to a unit is very strong. And then there is a huge I don't want to call it the Sabine core, but it basically is the red-green hero core in here. We've got Battlefield Marines, Sabine unit, Cass, Fleet Lieutenant, K2, Poe Dameron, Wrecker, 4 Cause I Believe in. That's all kind of the same game plan, but what you gain is this kind of combo-y, kind of explosive leader that can essentially deploy multiple times. And there's a couple ways to do that. The main one is the spicy combo we're running, which is Eject.
Mm-hmm.
So the combo is turn one, you play a space unit. Let's say you play Black One. At the beginning of turn two, you tap 1 to equip Poe to Black One. You swing at base for 5. And then with your other 2 resources, you use Eject, which is detach a pilot upgrade, move it to the ground area and exhaust it, and draw a card. So you detach your Poe leader, you put it to the ground area, you draw a card. Well, now your leader's in the ground and you didn't even use an epic action to send him there. And he's a 4/6 unit. So Okay, yeah. Also great combo you turn two. The nuts thing about this is, rule-wise, you did not use your epic action, which means that Poe unit, your leader, if it dies after it was brought to the ground from Eject, you can use your epic action to bring him back out after 5 resources. And that is just like like
Pretty
crazy.
bonus leader busted.
Yeah, bonus leader seems good. That is why I'm actually running heroic sacrifice in place of rebel assault, which would probably be in here. And the reason being is you could have this like crazy turn on 5 resources if that pole leader sticks around, where you can heroic sack him for 6, draw a card, and then bring him back out, swing for another 4, which is 10 damage represented by 1 card. um, yeah, he's definitely strong. I think there's probably more efficient ways to build him. I just literally cookie cuttered the Sabine list and changed a couple things, but we got some new guys to talk about here. So we talked about Black One and Eject, obviously kind of core elements of the deck. But we got to talk about the little guy, BB-8. So BB-8 is a 1/4 on the ground, which you're never usually doing, but his pilot ability is quite useful. So it costs 1 to pilot, gives +1/+2. But when he's played as an upgrade, you can pay 2 resources to ready a resistance unit. That is Black One, Snap Wexley, Poe Dameron unit, but most importantly, Poe Dameron, they're your leader. So what I just said about the 5 resource combo turn, where you deal 10 damage, and add another 4 to that because you put BB-8 on your ship and stood up Poe at some point. Like, okay, 14 damage, I guess. Seems good. And then if you, for some reason, are allowed to stand up the Poe Dameron unit, that's like, okay, that's even more terrifying. Yeah, that's a problem.
0 resistance synergy, and then the most terrifying one.
Yeah, and it's a 1-drop.
Yeah.
Yeah, and especially that it's just also a +1/+2 to a ship. Like if it was a 3 resource card that just said stand up a resistance unit, it'd still be good. But it's also just a body that you're giving to a ship, which is nuts. We did add the blue leader, which is a 3/3 ambush. That's just a really good, turn to control the space if you don't want to kind of go all in on that combo right away. And then it does have the wind blade. You can pay 2 to move it to the ground and give it 2 experience points. So on 5, it could be a 5/5 ambush on the ground, so that helps us get rid of Sabine and some other stuff like that. So it kind of helps us in the aggro matchup both ways, rather our turn 2 or being our ground unit on 5. Snap is in here too. Snap is a little interesting. When he's a ground unit, he's not super bad, but he's not super great. He's a 2/5 for 3. And when he completes an attack, you can allow the next resistance card you play to cost 1 less. So there is this interesting, again, it's like almost against Sabine, where it'd be relevant is on 3 you play him, and then you open up the 4 resource turn with swinging with him, which means your Poe unit only costs 4. So you can ECL your Poe unit on the Sabine flip turn, which could, or just throw him out there, which is of course great. So he's okay. That's why he's only 2. He has felt okay. That has happened a couple times where I've been able to get the Poe unit out earlier, which seems really good, but also not like super relevant. But he's pretty good. And then when he's played as an upgrade as a pilot, you get to dig for a resistance unit. So that seemed much more relevant, where I'm like trying to find BB-8 or the Poe unit for like crazy combos. That's more so what he's used for. And then the other new guy we got in the main deck is probably the best card of the set, in my opinion, and that's the Chewbacca pilot. This card is absurd. Like, screw your leader Poe and like the crazy stuff with this deck. If you put Chewie on an A-Wing or Black One on turn 2, you've probably won the game. I mean, it is just unbelievably good. It is so good to give something +3/+3, and it can't be bounced or defeated by events. Like,
Well, bounce is almost more like not being able to bounce is
That's
almost
super
more
relevant.
relevance because of
Yeah.
all the yellow that's flying around right now.
Yeah, and all of our ships swing for 6 with Chewie attached to it, so that's also a very relevant number. Yeah, Chewie is just crazy. On top of that, against control, like you just throw him down there as a 5/6 that can't be defeated or bounced. Really solid, like really, really solid. He'll get in like 10 damage, especially against the laser blast turns and stuff like that. They have to laser blast sometimes, but then like my Chewie's just still alive, and then I probably have resources to throw some other guys out. So that sets you up into the Avenger term really well, because then you have multiple guys. On top of that, it's the ruling like Lurking Tie. If they power of the dark side and I have 2 guys, I just pick Chewie, but he can't be defeated. So I'm saved from power of the dark side. I'm saved from Avenger when I have Chewie out. He's crazy. He is such a good card. And then we got the big boy. We got ECL Wrecker. So yeah, not much to say about that. That's just
solid closer as always.
So, yeah, it'll just be here paired with ECL until he's banned. So that's like when he'll see play. And then going into the side, I just went full on like we need to counter piloting 3 Daring Raids, 3 Fang Fighters, 3 Bright Hopes. And I felt like I have like a pretty good matchup into control. And I was like, what could help control? Well, let's throw in 1 planetary bombardment and see if it works. Fair warning, I have not used that at all. So I don't know if it is that great. In theory, it seems pretty good.
By the 6th resource turn, you've probably done a lot of work. And if you just say, hey, figure out 8 damage.
Right. Yeah. Have fun with this. So it'd be fun to test. I'd see how it plays out. But yeah, I know me and Alex played a match earlier on against Piet, and I was playing Poe, and it just felt like crazy.
It went off,
like out of hand, like more than Sabine damage. I mean if he goes off, he goes off. But I do think he has a little bit more versatility and like this ability to stay alive into the end game more than Sabine does. And so I'm happy to be able to explore a deck that does that. It felt like a lot of times with Sabine, you run out of gas and you're like praying that you draw 2 copies of 4 cards I believe in.
Sure.
Whereas Poe doesn't feel like as hard of that in the end game, if that makes sense. But again, a little bit of workshopping probably needs to happen. The one card that I am looking at is Red Leader, which is the 3/4 that gets -1 if you have a pilot or pilot unit. That's one that I want to test out a little bit.
Yeah, solid.
But yeah, overall, super scary deck. He's definitely going to be something you see. Be prepared to play against him. Know what he does. And fun fact, he's a non-leader unit as an upgrade, so you can take him from people.
Yeah.
You can traitorous your opponent's ship with their leader attached to it. It's super fun.
That's how you deal with him, is you keep him on your side and never let him kill it.
Exactly, yeah. Don't give it back to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Looks good. Excited to play some more of this and see what shows up. Yeah, if you like this video, let us know. If you try it out yourself, give us a comment. See how it worked out for you. If you have any suggestions for us. Otherwise, we'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.
Peace.
Space Tech, Spaceports, TCG, Card Sports, of course, till my voice goes hoarse. Welcome, decking with the strategy, the energy, it's Clone Force 23. Space Tech.